This rant has been stewing for some time. I've been putting I don't know, you can't say it a lot of thought, but I've been putting thought into this over the last few months because of how often I see it come up. I'm thinking about this quite frequently. I don't consider myself to be the most patient person in the world. In fact, whenever I go to Disneyland, I will always upgrade to the Max Pass because I am that impatient. But one thing I've come to grips with, and I know I don't struggle with, is impatience with my job title. Job titles are one of those funny things where people tend to get their undies tied up in a bunch. And really, I get it because we tend to put our best selves out on social media. We tend to try and impress. But how can you impress with a garbage job title, right? President of facilities sounds a lot better than just janitor. But let me tell you a couple things that I think might help you as far as thinking about this, and maybe help you get you a little bit more patience too. The other day I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this meme. I saw this meme earlier in an article that I was reading about 2019 UX standards, or what to look for as far as trends, or how this career or category of work is going to continue to evolve in 2019. But long story short, here's the cartoon. Two characters talking to each other, real simple. One of them says to the other, "Wow, senior UX designer, how long have you been doing UX?" And the other says, 2 months. It sounds funny, but I can't tell you how often I'm actually seeing stuff like that, or hearing stuff like that, or hear that some person is going to be transferring to another company because this other company is going to give them a senior title, and that's really what they want, even though they've been doing this for 6 months after an internship in a boot camp. Like, that kind of stuff just boggles my mind that people put so much stock into it. Let me tell you why you shouldn't care about your job title one bit. Starts here. Company to company, it means something different. So just a general footnote. Let's use this as a measuring stick or a foundation. In the US, generally, after 2 years, an associate designer will become a mid-level designer. After 4 years, that middle-level designer becomes a senior designer. And after 6 years, that senior designer becomes a lead designer. Yes, you're going, well, that's not, there's so many variables, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. I know there's a lot of variables that go into it. So many things can affect those types of decisions. There are candidates that are prodigies. There are candidates that are superstars. But let's just say, on average, that's how it works. Let me tell you how that can affect you. When I got my first job out of college, it came with a huge, fancy title. I was starting at adoption.com. I was helping kickstart this thing from the foundation as they kind of cleaned house and were really going to revamp this whole thing. I was working with the CEO and the CFO, and my fancy job title that they were going to give me was creative director. And I was on cloud nine right out of college, and I'm a creative director. I didn't know anything, but I thought it was pretty stinking sweet. I got to build a little team. We had a handful of designers. Cool things happened. Eventually, some of you may know the story already. I left, went to another startup, and wouldn't you know, at the second startup I was at, I had the same fancy job title of creative director. Startup, again, much smaller, only a handful of designers that kind of came through there over the course of the years. But I had, and I cherished that creative director title on LinkedIn, on my resume, and it meant the world to me. But what I found over the course of the next few months as I left that startup and started looking for a new job is that people aren't looking for creative directors, right? Maybe at a startup, those job titles don't mean a whole lot. When you're only working with 8 people, you're a creative director of what? I don't know. But if you want to go work for a 500 person company, that big creative director title is probably not what they're looking for. They've probably filled that position. That title may be doing you more harm than good. And that's what ended up hurting me. When I changed my job title on LinkedIn and on my resume to just designer or lead designer or whatever I changed it to, it worked tremendous. I got more recruiters hitting me up. I started fulfilling some interviews. It worked a lot better. I want you to think of what you're doing in your career, not by a job title, but with a different measuring stick. That measuring stick can be something like your pay, your benefits, your work fulfillment. Those things are all important. I'm not going to be naive enough to say, don't worry about your pay, work for the good of the world. But no, pay definitely is important. If you got a family, if you're preparing to have a family, whatever it may be, you got bills to pay, you got to make sure that your pay is good. At the end of the day, does your job title help you sleep at night? Or is how that company treating you, how that company's taking care of you help you sleep at night? Because for me, that helps put a lot of these questions aside. So don't worry about your job title. No hiring manager is going to look at your previous job title and then give you the job of the same without first validating your skill set. At the end of the day, care less about the job title. Ask yourself if you're being taken care of. Are your needs being met? Are you happy doing what you're doing? No fancy job title is going to comfort you at night. Get it? There's not going to be anything there in a job title that's going to bring you satisfaction. But I rest well going that my employer does take care of me. They do value me. They pay me well. They take care of my family. We got great benefits. Medically, if something goes wrong, it's going to be taken care of. Those are the things that mean more to me. And it doesn't come from a job title. You would rather be the associate designer that blows people away than that senior UX lead designer that makes people wonder how they got there. So take that rant for you today. Apply it. Be patient. Let the process work. Keep learning, keep growing. Those are the types of things that are going to help you develop the right way and not the fancy job title way. I'm out.